Yes, yes, yes. Here we are on another Rams Wednesday. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, KO Time, coming to you live on this beautiful Wednesday evening. I am in yet another hotel room on my long journey ahead. But I'm glad that each and every one of you is tuning in. Whether you're watching right with me live now or on the replay, thanks for tuning on in. I hope you're having a good time. Let me just fill this music here, the fun, funky intro music. But we are going to have a great show. We have lots to talk about. There's so much going on in the NFL world. We are going to go live for probably around an hour, give or take. And we do this show every Wednesday. We have a couple of segments. I am going to clip it out. So I talk for a bit. We read some articles that have been online, and then we dialogue in between segments. So I will do my best to involve you in the show and make sure that your voice is heard. I do my best to keep up with the comments. So please chime in. I'm so glad each of you are here. And before we get to our first segment, let me give a shout out to Eric. Hey, man. Good to see you, Eric. Thanks for tuning on in. I hope you're well, my friend. Thanks for tuning in to another Rams Wednesday. A couple of program notes. Like I said before, I will clip out segments of this show into shorter videos. I've been trying to get in the habit of doing that. And then we will still be having a watch party for the Rams-Panthers game on Sunday. So definitely tune into that. Lots to look forward to. And I appreciate everyone who's liked and subscribed to the Payo Time channel. Niners Sickness tuning on in. Hello, Niners Sickness. Good to see you. And thanks for tuning on in to hear about some Rams juicy talk, because there's lots to talk about. The first thing we are going to talk about. So let me just get this. I know everyone's talking about it, so we're going to make it the first segment of today's show. Odell's tweets. They're not so sweet. Yes, Odell Beckham Jr. has been very active on Twitter. For anyone who's been living under a rock, Odell Beckham Jr. helped the Rams win the Super Bowl last year. He tore his ACL in the Super Bowl, unfortunately, just before halftime. And he hasn't re-signed with any team. There was a lot of encouraging things to believe that he would re-sign from the Rams. I always was of the mindset there was a handshake agreement in place. The tweets that we saw today would lead me to believe that I was wrong, and I'm perfectly okay admitting that. However, I'll be sad if he doesn't sign with the Rams, but let's look into it here. So the first tweet that really got everyone talking on Rams Twitter here, I'll just pull it up, is he was responding to a number of other Rams fans, including Jake Allen Bogan. So shout out Jake for having Odell reply to you. That was really cool. But he said, LA knows where I wanted to be, but they didn't offer me anything. So I don't know what people want me to do. I def know my worth, and what the offer was isn't reflective of that. So it's tough to say that I can come back, even though I thought I finally found a home. Now, the ever optimistic Ram fans myself, I look at that and I want to be super selective and be like, oh, he thinks LA is home. Like that's, he'll want to become here, right? But there's clearly a little bit more to it than that. I've heard some people say this is a negotiation tactic. I won't go through all of his tweets, but I will go over this article by the Rams Wire here. Just give me a second to share, because sharing is caring. I'm going to share my screen. Yes. So if we go to Odell Beckham Jr. shares update on talks with the Rams, got lowest of low offers. So by our man Cameron DeSilva, he's saying Odell Beckham Jr. is the top free agent on the market, and he is taking his time picking his next team. He can do that because he's recovering from a torn ACL in which he suffered in the Super Bowl. Yeah. He's expected to be ready to play by mid-November or December. So now it's just a question of where he'll end up playing the rest of the year. All signs pointed to Beckham returning to the Rams, but that may not be so likely now. And so it talks about Odell's tweet that we just read, and then there's Cameron does a great job pointing out the Rams also don't have a ton of cap space and just gave Allen Robinson a 46.5 contract this past offseason. So allocating another big contract to a wide receiver may not be something they want to do. Thus, an offer lower than Beckham's asking price. So definitely something to make note of in this conversation, that money is a factor, right? And I think a lot of Ram fans thought that, Odell, he'll like take a hometown discount, like that would be cool. And maybe there's still a chance for that. Maybe the Rams were offering him, and this is pure speculation on my part, maybe the Rams were offering him some sort of prove it contract that would only kind of be a 1-year deal, where Odell was looking for more of a long-term contract or at least some sort of incentive laden contract. So something to consider, because Odell technically had a pretty team-friendly deal last season when he signed his prove-it deal with the Rams then. The last article I'll read from this here is Sean McVay on ESPN had a really good article pointing out, and you can watch Sean McVay's press conference from today where he talked about the Odell situation as well. So Sean McVay weighs in and said, and this is Sean McVay asking his response to the tweet, and he said, "I love Odell." McVay said, "We have constant dialogue. He also knows that certainly I don't think that's the last offer that would come from us." So Sean McVay provided a bit of hope there for Rams fans. "I'm not familiar with what it is. He knows how we feel about him. We've got a little bit of time. But I love Odell. Nothing but good things come for me." And the SBM article continues to say, the Rams still have a nameplate in the locker room of their practice facility for Beckham. The Rams have not been quiet about their desire for Beckham's return. Last month, in the middle of a press conference, cornerback Jalen Ramsey brought up the receiver in one of his answers and then paused to say, "Odell, come back." So that would lead me to believe that the Rams are not done negotiating with Odell. The bridge has not been burnt completely. So it's something to look into. I think that this Odell cryptic saga, it's been a really interesting storyline. That there's been times I've thought, oh yeah, he's definitely coming back. So much so, I've said multiple times I thought there was a handshake agreement already in place, but that is clearly not the case. And there's some more negotiation that needs to be done between the Rams front office and Odell Beckham Jr. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? How much do you think the Rams need Odell? I personally, I'm more concerned about getting Van Jefferson back at this point. There's still question marks with Odell coming back from an ACL tear. I know that injury is not the same injury it used to be in terms of recovery. That we've come a long ways, but still definitely things to consider with that. But let me know in the comments what you think. And I'll say this, Odell, if you ever see this, we would love to have you back, man. I hope you're healing well, and I hope you come back and we go on another run. All right, let me see a couple of summits here. So Niners Sickness thinks Odell is going to the Bills. So there was reports of him in Buffalo. So maybe. Jokers for Poker. Hello, good to see you, my friend. I enjoyed meeting you at SoFi, and glad you're here right now. He said, I don't expect OBJ to come back. Like Vaughn going for the biggest contract. Disappointing that Odell is trying to negotiate in the media. That's a fair criticism. You like this stuff to be behind closed doors for sure, but we'll see. Only time will tell. And this Odell negotiation has been long drawn out, and we'll continue to monitor it. SM, I tried telling people for months that Odell wasn't re-signing, but they didn't want to listen. Ram fans. SM, good to see you as always. Thanks for tuning in and putting in. And it's maybe that is the case. And if it comes down to strictly a money thing, maybe the Rams aren't in a position where they can sign him. But again, only time will tell. Only time will tell. Odell. Oh wait, first, Mr. Summer Obi, thank you so much for tuning in. And let me get my Shakespearean voice here. Odell or not to Odell? I think we should just live without him. He may provide a late season lift, but not sure if that would make a huge difference. Fair enough. Fair enough. Tribe, good to see you, my friend. He's saying OBJ loves warm weather. He's not going to Buffalo. Okay. That I guess the weather is something in there for sure. Next man up mentality. Sharik is probably starting. Yeah. Our fourth starting center in 6 games. That is the story here for sure. But all right, thanks everyone for those comments. I'm going to go to the next segment, and then I will keep up with your comments between segments for sure. The next thing I would like to talk about in regards to the we will get into our Rams versus Panthers preview towards the end of the show, but I want to start with the state of the Ramley. Yes, this will be a short segment here. And I find our fan base so fascinating. And I'm so glad I get to be part of it. I'm so glad I get to be a YouTuber that gets to kind of psychoanalyze this fan base. And I'm part of that fan base that's being psychoanalyzed. It is so fun being a Rams fan. And there's so much, different reactions to the state of the team. And I made this little chart here. Okay. And again, this is going to be a short segment here. This is what I perceive as kind of the scale of the state of the Ramley. Okay, so let me just take down this here, and this is my little scale here. So the state of the Ramley. So you have on one side you have the people that they're still all in, and they're like, yeah, Rams can do no wrong. Like, okay, we're not winning, but whatever. We're gonna just go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, Rams to the moon. Which I'll admit, that's fun, but that's avoiding criticism and avoiding that stuff is wrong with this team. That's why we're below 500. But then you have on the other opposite scale, you have the people that are just out, that are like, I'm done. This team, I'm over this team. I got other stuff to do. I'm out. And if that's you, you're probably not watching this video if you're out, but that sucks because it's a lot of fun being an NFL fan and riding the roller coaster of emotions that come with an NFL team. And if the Rams do go on a run, you're gonna miss part of the story. That's like going to a movie like a Marvel movie or a superhero movie or a big blockbuster, and you come for the first 10 minutes, then you get up and leave, and you go like pick your nose or just go to the bathroom or wash your car, and then coming back and just catching the tail end of the movie. The story is still being written and it's unfolding before our eyes. And I am never going to be one of those people that's just out, but I understand that is part of the fandom, unfortunately, for sure. But then there's these people that are on like this, not quite out, but they're like, this is the last chance. If the Rams lose this, I'm out. And I see that, and I'm like, that's so interesting that you can provide this some sort of ultimatum there. Again, I'm not of that, but if that's you, that's interesting. Then a little further along the scale, you get the angry Rams fan, and I just want to say it is totally valid being an angry Rams fan. I love the passion. I affirm the passion. As long as you're not taking it out on people like myself or things like that. Like you can be angry, absolutely. That this team had Super Bowl expectations, and those expectations do not look like they're being met right now. And in life, because we are human, when we have expectations and when they're not being met, there's a huge disappointment that comes with that. That's part of the human experience. And being a sports fan or a fan of a football team, we're not immune to that fandom, that those expectations and disappointment, right? So it is totally okay, if you're angry and just like, oh, come on, Rams, then kind of, and I put my little cartoon logo where I kind of stand on this scale. There next to that, there's kind of like this disappointed but hopeful. You're having the conversation of like, hey, we got to fix the O-line. These problems that the Rams are having are correctable. We can beat the Panthers, go to 500 into the bye week, and hopefully this team gets on a roll, can still win the division, make the playoffs, and then who knows what can happen in the playoffs. So it's kind of this disappointed, like, yeah, the season has not gone the way we wanted to, but not quite like having the same anger level. And I would say I'm a little more, kind of along than that, but that's I digress. Then there's the people that have just, completely moved on to the next game. They're like, okay, yeah, this sucks, but move on to the next game. No use talking about, things that have gone wrong. And then you got like as I mentioned before, the all-in Ram fans. They're like, Rams for life. Like, who cares what happened? Allen Robinson's going to figure it out. OBJ is coming. The O-line is going to magically just start being this wall. Like, and I've seen some of that too. And if that's you, enjoy living in that. I like a little more nuance in my football conversation, but you enjoy being high on life. So anyway, that I'll just show that is my little state of the Ramley scale chart. Let me know in the comments if you fit into this. This is just me having a little bit of fun, and I truly do appreciate each and every Rams fan's takes, and I love hearing opinions that are unlike my own. So thank you for all the people that have commented on my videos that they're on all ends of this scale. So let me go to your comments. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. I think Odell felt slighted when they gave. Okay, maybe. Tony, hello, good to see you. Let's see. I wouldn't be able to speak to that, but I know there's some crossover. Hey, Daniel, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Yo. Yeah, SM does not like the Chargers. Yeah, Niners sickness. That chart was not for Niners fan. You can make your own chart. I challenge you to make your own chart about the Niners fandom. After playing in the league for 6 years on 4 teams, the fans don't understand what the team and teammates go through. The bottom line is it's an entertainment business like all professional sports. Yep. Fans see the positive to feel secure. The negative leads to gloomy days. Fans are used to being picked on, so I would say we need more realistic than fanatics, especially in big sports town. Okay, interesting take. Thank you, Mr. Summer OB. I appreciate it. And yeah, again, like I find it so interesting that the various reactions that we get within the Ram. Like, it's really cool. All right. My next segment here that I want to briefly talk about here is the Rams versus Panthers previews. Yes, this is a game the Rams need to win. And being below 500 at this point in the season, the Rams do not have the luxury of taking any team for granted. Any given Sunday is a real thing. We've seen that before. I still remember the stupid loss to the Jets a couple of years ago. And the Rams very much need to take this game serious. I don't think that Coach Sean McVay or the players are writing off the Panthers. The Panthers just fired their head coach. They're going to be a team playing desperate. They have a lot of players that want to prove themselves. And we are just going to take a brief overview of a couple things leading up to this game to help us be better informed fans. So again, I always enjoy going to the ESPN game summaries before the game. This is how I do my previews. So in the ESPN matchup predictor, 78.1 said that the Rams are going to win. They compare the quarterbacks, but we know Baker Mayfield is going to miss multiple weeks. So they're going to have XFL standout star PJ Walker as starting this game. So he is a quarterback that can beat you with his feet and with his legs. And if you watch the XFL like I did, he was definitely the best player to watch. He was a lot of fun. They compare Cooper Kupp to Robbie Anderson, which there's not much of a comparison there, as you can see, 13 receptions to 49 receptions. On the injury report, Baker Mayfield, it says on this he's questionable, but all reports I've read is he's out. They have some C.J. Henderson and J.C. Horn questionable in the secondary. We know Sam Darnold is on the injured reserve, and also Laviska Shenault questionable as well at the receiver position. For the Rams, Taylor Rapp seems to always be questionable at the safety position this season. Unfortunately, David Edwards is on the injured reserve. Brian Allen has been ruled out, but we have heard some optimism of him, maybe being able to return after the bye week. Cooper Kupp questionable, but I don't think we're too worried about that. And Higbee also questionable there as well. The spread, the Rams are the 10.5 favorite. And then the over-under is 41 points on this game. The Rams have not been meeting that. We've struggled to score. So hopefully they put up a 40 burger and it's 40-0. That's the hope. As you can see, team stats, the Panthers actually score more points per game than the Rams do, which that's concerning. Points allowed per game, they're pretty close. The Panthers 24.4, Rams 23.2. So something to look out for. Total yards, the Rams clearly gaining significantly more yards than the Panthers. And then yards, the other one I want to look at, or we will point this out, the Panthers are 89.8 in rushing yards per game. The Rams are only 62.4, which is abysmal. Passing yards allowed, pretty similar there. The rushing yards allowed, the Rams do have a significantly better run defense there. So interesting. If we look at the weather here, it's in Inglewood, 73 degrees. Looking forward to that there. And then one last thing I want to share before we can get back to your comments here is if we go to, where did that go? So many things. Oh, yeah. Another article by the Rams Wire here. 8 stats and facts to know for the Rams versus Panthers in Week 6 by Cameron De Silva. And I won't read through the whole article, but just a couple of headline facts. So first time since 2016, the Rams have scored fewer than 20 points in back-to-back games. So let's not make it 3 in a row. Rams rank last in yards per play. That is just unacceptable for this Rams team. They're too talented for that. Really hope this is a game that they can at least get in the top 30. No one runs the ball less than the Rams and Panthers. That's not a huge surprise for the Rams, but it was a surprise hearing that about the Panthers, considering they have Christian McCaffrey and he is healthy. Panthers have the fewest yards of any team. So this is a Panthers team that has struggled to move the ball. I think with PJ Walker, he might be able to pick up some first downs. And this also goes into the Panthers are currently the worst third down team in the league. I don't expect them to be much better, but I do think having a mobile quarterback with PJ Walker might help them improve their third down conversion a little bit on Sunday. Panthers will have an interim coach and backup QB on Sunday. So again, with Matt Rule being fired on Monday, we know that their interim head coach Steve Wiltz is there, and that there is something to be said about you don't know what their game plan is going to be like. And so there is a little bit of a mystery with that. Rams ranked 4th in red zone defense. That is definitely something that, can be celebrated. And I'm hoping that the Rams, if there's ever a game the Rams could shut out an opponent, this might be the game that they did that. And I think a large portion of that would be because of our red zone defense being able to just shut down this Panthers offense, hopefully. The Panthers do lead the all-time series 13-9. This will be the 23rd meeting between the Rams and the Panthers, the first since 2019 when they met in the season opener. The Rams won the last matchup 30-27, but had lost the previous 2 meetings. So those are some fun facts. Thanks, Cameron De Silva, for another great article on the Rams Wire. And my prediction for this game, I think that this is a game that is going to be a get-right game for the Rams. I hope it is. I think that the Rams will be able to get ahead early, put this game away early, and hopefully, get just – I'm hoping this is the turning point in the Rams offense this season, that they can get right and really gain some rushing yards, set up the play action. We know that this offense, when it has, the play action that can throw defenses off guard, because we get to use our jet sweeps more. We get to use our when we put a receiver in motion, and the play action just helps the passing game out all the better. So I think the Rams are going to win this. I think it's not going to be close. I am predicting a 41-13 win for the Rams. That is my prediction there. So let me get to your comments before I get to the next segment here. So let me see here. We got okay. So Xavier, hey, how's it going? You're heading to the game this Sunday from North Carolina. Let's go Rams. That is awesome, man. Oh, Xavier, have a great time at SoFi. It's such a fun city, such a fun stadium. I love it. OBJ stock went up after that Super Bowl win, and when OBJ didn't immediately sign another contract, that's when I said, yeah, Vaughn and OBJ are gone. Okay, interesting, Tony. Interesting. If the Rams lose to, sorry, but yeah, no, that would be a time to panic. That's for sure. Natter sickness. The Panthers are coming in limping as bad as any team I've seen in a long time. Their back up to their backups has started. Yeah. No, it's definitely, it's a team that the Rams should beat. Sean got to come up with something better than Skronik at fullback. Why does Sean draft these receivers, not use them? Makes me frustrated when I'm watching the offense. Tony, that's fair, right? Like when you draft all these receivers, and even guys like Lance McCutcheon, who had a great preseason, and there's all this depth and all this talent, and then you kind of focus in on Kupp and Higbee, right? Like you hope that you can spread the ball out, and I think that just adds to the disappointment of Allen Robinson, right? Hey, Toon Link Maine, good to see you. Well, we are honored that you're comparing us to Clickbait Sports. That's an honor, but we're a different show. But that's pretty cool, man. Oh man, who are you comparing me to? Clean version of Toon Link Man, and you're intrigued by. That's funny. Hey, Grandizer 12, good to know. Rams Wire did pay. I'm not sure what you mean, Grandizer, by that, but if the Rams clean up the turnovers, then you will see a 40 burger. That's the hope, and not just us not giving turnovers, but also generating turnovers, which the Rams haven't had a lot of. Are the Rams too talented, or are there many key players not living up to their draft type? I think it's just a case of some underperforming, and I truly do believe it is the O-line that is the root of the problems. If we could get a serviceable run game going, this offense could be clicking. and we would be able to take some pressure off our defense for sure. This is that rare game where I don't want to hear any team can win or any given Sunday. If the Rams can't handle this team, we deserve all the hate coming our way. No excuses, Playbook. You know what? That's fair. That is a totally fair take, Mr. Summit Obi. And I'll be the one to say it. I've said any team can win any given Sunday, but you're right. I appreciate that perspective. That this is the game that if the Rams lose this, all criticism should be rained on our team. Absolutely. Jake Funk got cut. Yeah, thought he did well for them. Yeah, Grandizer 12. That was a shock. I was surprised by them waiving Jake Funk, and we know we got Malcolm Brown back, and yeah, I'm curious to if there's a roster move coming. But yeah, that was a surprise, and I was hoping some news would break before Rams Wednesday, but no, I haven't heard anything. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, Grandizer. Yeah, no, I'm. This is my fourth hotel, and I think I'm in a hotel for like the next 19 nights. I think I go to 18 different hotels in the next 19 nights. So, no, gotta focus on just this. But I try to collab as much as I can. But yeah, no, I appreciate you recommending great content creators and supporting great content creators. Win or lose, our Rams are champions. Period. They are a good NFL team and a great organization for the local community as well. I am proud to be a Rams fan. Let's go! Yeah. Oh, you're going to the game. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome, Grandizer. Enjoy the game. Oh, no, the bots. Oh, no. Well, thank you. Thank you to whoever got those bots out of here. Let's see. Nice thickness. Enjoy your win over the Panthers and the bye in week 7 because, we'll see. We'll see. We will see. I'm hoping the Rams can get right on the bye. Carolina Panthers versus the Rams. The two teams have met each other 22 times, including one pro season. The Panthers winning 13 games, the Rams winning 9. Panthers lead the series 13-9. Yep. Let's see. There's always teams looking for defensive back end help. Funk, hope he gets an opportunity. Yeah, I'm hoping he gets an opportunity. Yeah. Kyrie Williams is out for the year, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to double check that right now. It's been so long since I've talked about Kyrie Williams, but I don't think he's back this year. No, it doesn't look like he's out. Missed 6 weeks. But he's still injured. So yeah, I don't see him. He'll miss 6 to 8 weeks. That was back in week 1. So yeah, it'll be a while. I don't think that's the roster move of Jake Funk. But interesting theory for sure, SM. Rams favored by 9-8. Yep. Yeah, and I'm hoping the Rams meet that 41 all on their own. Well, thanks everyone for those comments. I will get back to your comments after our next section, which this is something that I see a lot of Rams fans talking about. So I figured, hey, let's talk about it on Rams Wednesdays here. And we are going to talk about should the Rams trade for any of the players on the Panthers players? Another great article here. Going to share my screen. Yes, by Kenneth Arthur on the Turf Showtimes. Rams need to inquire on potential Panthers fire sale. So I hear some Ram fans asking like, oh, this is like a scouting and a game all in one, right? Like we get to go and scout the competition. Sean McVay is going to like walk up to Panthers players and be like, take off your jersey, and then hand them a Rams jersey like right after the game, and just announce their trade in his press conference that it happened at midfield or something. So anyway, that's my dream. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but in this article, Kenneth says, let week 6 against the Panthers be a scouting trip for the Los Angeles Rams. Not that they will need to learn much about perhaps one player that could be used most right now. This is the one I'm hearing a lot talk about, including myself, which is the one I'm most interested in. Austin Corbett. Corbett isn't the only player on the Rams or the Carolina roster who might be of some help to the Rams right now after they fired their head coach. So we're going through the list here. So Austin Corbett, will the Rams be able to do it? Probably not. He just signed a pretty big deal with the Panthers, as it says here, is a 3-year, $26.25 million deal with the Panthers, and his base salary in 2022 is only $1 million. And so, yeah, it would kick up. The Rams can't afford it, so it would mean the Panthers eating some of that. So I don't know if the Rams would be able to trade like a 4th-round pick for Corbett. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think that's the natural fit just because he is a former Ram. So, understandably, there's natural speculation there. The big name that everyone wants to talk about is running back Christian McCaffrey. I think he is tradable. I think that I think teams have inquired about trading for McCaffrey. It'll be a question of how much do the Panthers want for him. I do believe there is an offer that the Panthers can't say no to, but he's an often injured player, and yeah, I think that he is tradable. I don't know if the Rams are the team that will, pull the trigger on that trade, but we will see. We will see. I'm not, again, if there's some sort of bidding war, I don't think the Rams will be in on that. But definitely, something to monitor. I think the Rams are going to roll with with their current running back room in Hendo and Akers, and then now Malcolm Brown kind of in the fold as well. A couple other notable names: wide receiver Robbie Anderson, wide receiver DJ Moore, wide receiver Terrence Marshall, or Laviska Shenault. I don't see the Rams trading for any of the wide receivers. That doesn't make any sense to me. And with especially Moore has a guaranteed of $20 million salary in 2023, and so yeah, and with the money they spent on Allen Robinson, you can't give up on Allen Robinson yet. That it's too early for that. I know that the Rams are a team that have moved on from players. They've moved on from bad contracts and absorbed several cap hits over the years. But it's still way too early to give up on Allen Robinson after you gave him that contract. You got to hope that he starts to play better. And I know it sucks to we wanted him to come in like game busters and just take the league by storm, and both Kupp and Robinson have over 1,000 yards receiving, and just that was the hope. We're not there yet, but I don't see the Rams trading for a wide receiver. Brian Burns. This is the one that okay, I know it's so rare for a pass rusher of this caliber to be traded. The Rams did do it for Von Miller last year, but that was a different situation. The interesting thing about Brian Burns, though, is he's still on his rookie contract. So he's only 24 years old. He has 4 sacks, which is half of Carolina's entire sack total this year. The Panthers exercised his 5th-year option. Obviously, their only goal should be a contract extension to retain one of their only good players. The cost to acquire Burns probably comes in more than a first-round pick. So that would necessitate let's need to dip into 2024 and beyond. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't see us trading for Brian Burns. It's fun to speculate, but I just don't think that the Rams have the draft capital to do it. And I think there'd be other teams the Panthers would be more interested in trading him to. And they mentioned a couple other pass rushers here in Yetur Gross-Matos. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Or Marquise Haynes. And he says if the Rams really wanted to, and you can never have enough, pass rushers. And this Rams pass rush, we know there's talent there, but they have not been putting consistent enough pressure on the quarterback. So something to definitely consider. Anyway, I will leave it there. Let me know in the comments, who do you think the Rams should trade for? Or maybe you think, I don't think the Rams should trade for anybody. And that's okay as well. I appreciate your comment. All right. Let's see. Where did I leave off here? Thanks all of these comments. Okay. Panthers will be without Brian Burns since he was traded. I don't think he was traded to. I missed that news if it did happen. Did that actually happen? Okay, I have to look at it. Niner Sickness. I don't see. Yeah, no. Okay, you're pulling my leg there, Niner Sickness. That's fake news there. Might need to spy PJ Walker. I have a feeling he won't find the pocket too comfy Sunday. Yeah, and again, like I said earlier in the show, PJ Walker is someone who can, beat you with his legs. So definitely a spy is a need. Is this the game where my prerogative Bobby Brown comes in? Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'm not. Wait, Bobby Brown. I'm getting all my mix. Bobby Brown. Let me just see here. I think. No, I'm pretty sure he's injured right now. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think so. Oh, thank you, Grandizer, for all those shout outs. Yeah, Corbett would be nice. And biggest need, help with that O-line. Should have kept Corbett over Brian Allen. It's tough. Taylor Moton are off the table. Can't afford them. Unless there's some sort of deal where the Panthers are able to eat some cap, like what the Broncos did with Vaughn last year. Oh, that's good to know. Panthers only have 4 draft picks. And yeah, I guess they have been trading a lot of their picks away. That's definitely something to consider, Grandizer. I didn't think about that. Thanks for that point. Saying Corbett would be nice is like saying an ice cold drink would be nice in Death Valley. Don't even tease. Yeah. Fair enough. CMC is very tradable. Not to, yeah. I don't know. Well, it'll be interesting to see if some team does trade for him. I could see it happening. Allen Robinson and Wagner were both luxuries that we didn't need. Huge mistake not giving that money to Corbett instead. Well, I don't know, Trav. It's tough because they re-signed Noteboom and Allen and so many of their other team needs of extending Donald, extending Cup, and that'll be something that the Rams will have to be criticized or praised for appropriately at the end of the season. Good on the Titans. I don't see him going to the Titans with Derrick Henry there. The Colts, they lost Jonathan Taylor, maybe. The Bills, I feel like everybody thinks the Bills for every good player that's available because they're all in this year. So maybe the Bills. Packers, I think they like Aaron Jones, and the Packers just don't seem to be a team that can make a big splash trade like that. But interesting for sure. Panthers just got Chanel this year. Granted, everyone is tradable, but he comes cheap. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, no, he'd command a first-round pick for sure. Get Aaron Donald. Just have him play both sides. Yeah. I still dream of the day of seeing Aaron Donald come in at running back and getting to score a touchdown. Brady Christian or Cade Maines would probably be more in the Rams ballpark. Okay. Yeah. Stay away from. Okay, good to know. Question: should the Rams give a 6th or 7th to Lions for defensive tackle Michael Brockers. He has become a player out of scheme, has zero impact on the Lions team. That's interesting. I think the Rams are pretty happy with Greg Gaines in that role. Robinson, because besides Donald, like we have rotational pass rushers. That's Grandize. That is making me think. This is raw. Like I had not even thought about that. I don't think it's a bad. Like trade them back the pick. I don't know. Like that we traded to get Brock, or like they traded to get him. I don't know. I don't know if Brockers would want to come back. That's really, really interesting. To answer your question, I would say if that's something that can happen, I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I predict the Panthers end up getting a second and a fifth for McCaffrey. Okay, SM. All right. Consider this a receipt on the internet if you get that right. Hello, Corey Davis. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for tuning on in. Rams would have to give up some upper round picks for those high price guys. Brian Burns opposite to Donald would be deadly, but you'd have to give up first, and you don't got a first this year. Now, we do have one in 2024, and I think that the Panthers, like if we offered like a second round pick in next year's draft and then 2024 first round pick, I don't know. I think I wouldn't put it past Les Snead to make that happen. I don't think he's going to, but it's I don't buy the narrative that the Rams don't have any draft capital to make a big trade like that. I don't see them doing it for this particular situation, but we'll see. Wagner gave a discount to play at home. He is worth all of it. Okay, yeah, and I think that the reality is, I know Wagner gets criticized a lot, but when you really kind of step back, you can see the Rams' run defense has significantly improved a lot this year, and I think the leadership of Wagner has been a key factor in that as well. Brockers would come super cheap too. Lions did have an article that said who they should trade. Brockers is pretty much filling up a roster spot. I think he was inactive last year. That's Grandizer. Thank you for that little tidbit. That is really interesting. We don't need more defensive linemen. We are one of the best defenses. Brockers didn't want to renegotiate his contract. That's all right. Another good point. Good point. And again, I would have to be sort of a like, hey, grass is greener on the other side sort of thing, right? It's an interesting discussion. It's an interesting discussion. Brocker, Jokers for Pokers, now that you bring this up, I do kind of remember Brockers was a little salty with the way that went down. So I don't know. That's a good question. Panthers might take that. A 2023 second round pick and first round pick for Burns. Yeah, like if the Rams really want that, they're a team that can do that. Trade Peos Phantom to the Panthers for 3 first round. I don't know if the Panthers would take that. Yeah, thank you, Grandizer. Well, let me go through here. Well, everyone, that does do it. Those are the main topics that I wanted to look at. Oh, you know what? Sorry. Apologies. There's one more article I want to go through. I can't believe I almost forgot that. I always want to be someone that covers more than just the football aspect of the Rams. And so something that the Rams did recently that's really cool, and I just want to highlight it here towards the end of the show on the Rams Wire. So Taste of the Rams benefit raises nearly $200,000 for Los Angeles regional food banks. And it's by John Dillon of the Rams Wire. It said, Los Angeles Rams hosted their 7th annual Taste of the Rams benefit on behalf of the Los Angeles Rams Food Bank this week. They managed to raise $170,000 for the organization through donation and ticket purchases for the event. According to the press release that was distributed by the team on Tuesday, the sum is enough to provide over 650,000 meals for families in need across the greater Los Angeles area. The event was headlined by superstar receiver Cooper Cup, who in partnership with local chefs hosted a night astronomical. Oh, I can't pronounce that word. Gastronomical opulence. That's a new word for me. To raise money, and then Cup went on to say, I've been able to be part of this for the last 3 years, and it's great to be able to support organizations like the LA Regional Food Bank and their efforts to combat food insecurity in our city. He said, it's not just a problem in Los Angeles. It's an issue that's nationwide and worldwide. Any way we can play a role in raising awareness of those in need and increasing the reach of our local food banks is important to me and the Rams organization. To have our fans and my teammates come out and support this effort is really cool. So this is an annual event that's held every year. And so you can get tickets to it next year. But I always love to highlight, when players use the platform to do good in the world. And that just encourages me. And so I'm very thankful to have players like Cooper Cup to do cool things like that. So let's get back to your comments here for the last couple of minutes of the show here. Braden Christensen, K. Mays, who are both on rookie years, would be in the Rams ballpark. Both have done well. Yeah, I appreciate that, Grandizer. So definitely 2 names to look for in this Panthers fire sale, as they say. That's tagged by Bees and One. Oh, fair enough. Hey, Rams House. Good to see you, my friend. My day is going well. I am, like I said, I'm at another hotel, and I have 18 days of hotels left, or I have 19 days of hotels left and 18 hotels over those days. So lots of driving around to do. Willie. Rams do have their 2024 first round to trade, and with the way the Rams have looked this season, I think teams would be very interested in that pick. That's fair enough. Oh, SM, this hurts because, as you know, as anyone knows, the Blue Jays got eliminated by the Seattle Mariners this past weekend. I had to be honest, I've been so busy with work. Let me take a look at what's going on. Oh, okay, Phillies or the Braves, Dodgers. Oh man, that's tough. So kind of naturally, the Dodgers are my second team, just because of the association with the Rams. Being a Canadian, the Blue Jays are my team. Okay, when it comes to baseball, everyone just needs to accept that the Toronto Blue Jays, they're my baseball team. I would love to see the Dodgers do it. I don't follow baseball closely enough to have a super knowledgeable take on it. I'm definitely pulling for the Dodgers. And so, yeah, I guess with my limited knowledge, I'll predict the Dodgers are going to win the World Series, and I'll be stoked because I know many of my subscribers are also Dodgers fans, even though they can respect my broken heart towards the Toronto Blue Jays. If the Rams gave up a 2023 second round and a 2025, the Panthers might just take that. Both could solve major O-line. And again, I would love this narrative of like, okay, we're at the middle field end of the game, and Coach McVay is just like being to like, okay, you're traded, here's a jersey. You're traded, here's a jersey. Like, I think that would be so fun. The Brewers, yeah. Mark, hello. I flew from South Texas to SoFi this past week. Man, was I pissed. My second Rams game so far. The Rams are 0-2 when I go see them play. Y'all can blame me for the – oh, Mark, don't wear that burden on yourself. I understand that. You never want your team to lose when you go see them play. I remember my first Rams game I ever went to was in Baltimore, and they lost 16-13. It was a brutal like punt fest between Johnny Hecker and Sam Cook. And I remember thinking, like, was I the problem? I don't know. And, you can be a little stitious. That's up to you. But ultimately, I think the Rams are the reason why they lost those games. It's not your fault, Mark. And I encourage you, any chance you get to go to SoFi, do it. I appreciate you tuning on in. Well, everyone, guys, this has been a blast. Thank you for another successful episode of Rams Wednesdays. I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in with me live, or if you're watching on the replay. I am going to call it. I'll clip this out, as I said, into shorter segments. But as always, go Rams, horns up, and peace. Wait, I got my hands up. Go Rams, horns up, peace out. Let's go Rams. Woo!